Have you ever wondered why some animals look nearly identical to their parents? For example, notice how this lamb looks a lot like its mother. In many cases, the same holds true with plants. Young plants often look very similar to their parents. You may also have noticed that some children look very much like their parents. What causes this? The answer lies in heredity. What is heredity? What are some of the things we can learn by studying heredity? And why is heredity important? During the next few minutes, we're going to answer these questions and others as we investigate heredity. You observe. What's the color of the fur of this calf? That's right, it's brown. The mother of this calf also has brown fur. Fur color is one example of a characteristic. Another word for characteristic is trait. This dog, for example, has many different traits. Some of its traits include eye color, fur color and thickness, height, and head shape, to name just a few. All living things, whether they be plants or animals, have many different traits. In some cases, traits are passed on from parents to their children, also called offspring. Heredity is the process of passing on traits from parents to offspring. Think about some of the things you do well. Maybe you're good at playing sports. Perhaps you're a very good musician. Or maybe you're an excellent reader. You decide. Could you do these things when you were born? No, you could not do these things when you were born, or even when you were a toddler. Instead, you had to learn how to do these things. With teaching and practice, you became better at them. These learned skills are called acquired traits. An acquired trait is something you learned or developed the ability to do. You are not born with acquired traits. Think about some of your basic physical features, such as your eye color, your height, and your hair color. You decide. Did you acquire or inherit these traits? That's right, you inherited these traits from your parents. You can't learn to make your eyes a different color. And you can't acquire the ability to make yourself taller or shorter. Inherited traits are different from acquired traits. As we mentioned earlier, heredity is the process of passing traits from parents to offspring. Genetics is the science of heredity. Genetics has produced many things that have improved our lives. For example, genetics has helped create new types of plants that produce more food. Genetics has enabled scientists to develop new medicines to prevent and cure diseases. Needless to say, the science of genetics has a big effect on our lives. During the past few minutes, we explored the fascinating topic of heredity. We began by seeing that living things have many characteristics called traits. We learned that heredity is the passing on of traits. The difference between acquired traits and inherited traits were explained. We discovered that acquired traits are learned, whereas inherited traits are passed on from parents to offspring. Last, we learned about genetics, which is the science of heredity. Some of the ways genetics has helped us were highlighted. This rounded out our investigation of heredity. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Number 1. Another word for characteristic is Number 2. Is the passing on of traits. Number 3. Learned skills are traits. Number 4. Eye color is an trait. And number 5 is the science of heredity.